Oh, welcome to another edition of Carnivore Bites. I'm your host, Jeff Sherman, along with the esteemed Dr. Lopkin. And, it's Wednesday, and post election, the strangest thing I've ever seen. Even CNN was saying last night, that's Tuesday, that they were worried because they were thinking, the path of Biden is getting less and less. The rest of the drill. And then in the morning, Michigan still, Trump's still ahead. And now everywhere he was ahead is now 1 point behind.
Yeah, I am very concerned. I mean, right now it does not matter actually who wins the White House in terms of policy, because the Democrats held the House, the Republicans held the Senate, so Trump's not getting anything through the House, Biden's not getting anything through the Senate. We've got 2 years of gridlock. I am concerned, however, because in some of the states that suddenly are being reported for Biden, Trump was so far ahead as of 3 a.m. that it seems almost ridiculous that they would suddenly switch blue. So I am concerned about where these other votes are coming from. And the question is, did the Democrats use absentee ballots to rig some of these states?
Oh,
And
God, yeah.
quite frankly, regardless of whether they did or not, or whether there's proof or not, if Trump supporters believe that they did, you are going to see in 2 years a red wave, because they are going to be pissed, and they are going to. I don't think they'll be able to take back the House in 2 years.
I think the level of anger might be so high. I wouldn't discount that.
But they will be able to solidify the Senate.
Yes, I think it's really disturbing. It's like a third world country. Again, I saw the same thing you did. 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, it's a done deal, and all of a sudden it's like poof. I mean, I could see if it was 2,000 votes, it was like 100,000 votes.
Yeah, I mean, in some of these states, as of 3 o'clock, Trump was actually up by 7 points. That's not a lead that evaporates. So there's a lot of hinky stuff going on. I think, and again, I worked in politics. I was a political consultant in New York. I have seen the Democratic Party commit election fraud. They've done it right in front of me. So this is not a matter of, there's rumors that I have seen it firsthand. So the fact that it happens is not in question. Did it happen here? I don't know. I have no proof that it happened. I'm not saying that there was fraud, because again, that's not something I'm going to accuse them of unless I've got proof. But I think things are hinky enough that there's going to be questions going forward. And we talked a lot about, I was handicapping this race all along for the past several weeks. I've said it was too close to call, but I knew that the polls were not even close. And last night showed that.
Even Frank Lunt said, I mean, dude, what was it, 12 points in, Wisconsin? It was ridiculous. And that's another conspiracy theory. That's a repression poll. People thinking it's over. Of course. I mean, how do you go from 12 points to basically was dead even?
Yeah,
essentially,
there's historical evidence to that. You being a bit older, you'll probably remember this, but the networks used to call the elections at like 6 p.m., 7 p.m. based on exit polls. And they stopped doing that because they found out it suppressed voter turnout. These polls, when you're being told that, they're 12 points ahead, 14 points ahead, they do have that same effect. Although Trump's supporters were so energized that I don't think there was any voter suppression on either side. We had record turnout in most of the country
Yeah,
for
let's
both
look at something.
sides.
I would agree with that. Here's what I really think. Yeah, beyond any speculation in terms of voter fraud, here's where Trump screwed up. The first debate, I'm sorry to say, it's the election is this close that if he kept his you know what together, I
Yeah,
think that was
the first
maybe the election.
the first debate was a horrible performance by him. I think it goes even further. I think it was partially also the constant tweeting,
Oh
but
no, he did it to
there,
himself, and also his
yeah,
unprofessionalism in terms of dealing with COVID. Did he do all the right things? That's a matter of discussion. But he actually was gaining in the polls when he acted somewhat presidential, having the White House address in terms of banning travel, and then it de-escalated whatever or spiraled down into a reality show insanity, blaming fake news, calling out reporters. It didn't help.
no, none of that helped him. Had he acted more professionally, I think there wouldn't have been as big an anti-Trump surge. But something that I have seen over the last several weeks, and even after the polls closed last night, really has me concerned. If you take a look at Trump's comments, Trump has insulted, the Democratic Party. He's insulted Biden and Harris. Trump never insulted Democratic voters. However, Biden has made comments insulting Trump supporters. Go back to 2016 to the deplorables comment. Hillary insulted Republican voters. On social media, I have seen huge numbers of Biden voters insulting Trump supporters. This is where the division is coming from. Trump didn't start this. Trump insulted the people on the podium, at the podium with him. He never insulted the populace. The Democrats are showing that they have absolutely no respect for the American people.
I don't. I agree with that 100%. I think they're the party. It used to be the Republicans. They're the elitist party. They're the ones who shun and look
Yeah.
down on the working people. I still
Did
think
you
it's a
hear Bernie Sanders?
no. I did not.
Bernie Sanders, prior to the election, I just saw this on Monday, came out bashing the Democratic Party as this is now the party of the elites. They don't care about the working people. This is from Bernie Sanders, who was playing nice with the Democrats. He has now come out and attacked them for defending the elites.
Well, he's right. This it. We're already a fractured nation. This, let's face it, it's ripe with fraud when you have mail-in, ballots where there's no control. Trump won the traditional election by a landslide, and the mail-in, whatever, he got his head handed to him. That's how it is.
That's well, again, that's what it looks like right now. We can't actually say he lost until he's declared.
Oh no, I
So
agree. No,
while
I'm
it
saying yes. I'm
yeah,
saying
so
things
while
were
it look
reversing because of
yes,
that.
so while it looks like Biden is the presumptive winner, we can't actually say that definitively yet. Hopefully, by the time we go live Friday at 4 on Carnivore Radio, we will actually have a declared winner to discuss.
Yes, and I think we're going to leave that open for discussion from you and I and our listeners. I think it's kind of a wide open situation at that point.
Sounds good.
All
But
right.
yeah, this was just it's ridiculously close. Um, I have heard from a number of people on both sides of the aisle that state attorneys general have already started work on potential lawsuits for this election. There is going to be one major item that Britt Hume actually brought it up on last night's coverage that may actually toss everything into disarray. And I'm actually hoping that they do not follow this path. But apparently, voting rules in numerous states were changed by the governors in response to COVID. Now, while this doesn't seem like a big deal, according to the Constitution, only the state legislatures can change the rules. The fact that the state legislatures did not could be another can of worms that gets opened.
Well, just when we were completely divided, we certainly don't need this, Dr. Lopkin, but we'll continue the discussion.
I'm hoping that they let that go, but who knows?
Who knows? So we will continue the discussion for our listeners out there Friday at 4 o'clock, and they can call in and join the discussion.
And you can hear us live at blogtalkradio.com/Carnivore Radio. We'll see you then.
Take care.
You've been listening to Carnivore Bites, part of the Exvadio Podcast Network. You can catch us every week on carnivoreradio.com, exvadio.com/podcasts, the Apple Podcast Store, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and wherever you find podcasts.